Plato's dialogues are grouped into three categories: early, middle, and late. Aside from the Apology, which recounts the trial of Socrates, we're going to be viewing two dialogues from the middle period, the Phaedo and the Republic. So I want to say something about what we learn about Plato's view of human life and destiny from the Phaedo. Now, remember, Socrates had just experienced a trial. He was tried by a jury of his peers on charges that he was an atheist and he was a corrupter of the youth. So in effect, he was charged with treason against the state. And it was a close call, but he was actually condemned on these charges and sentenced to death. The Phaedo represents the last hours of Socrates there in his jail cell before he gets ready to drink the hemlock and to die. And so you see the last conversation he has with his disciples and friends who gathered around him during his last hours on earth. It's interesting that earlier on, his friends encouraged him to run away, to escape his sentence, leave Athens, and live out the rest of his days elsewhere. Socrates refused to do this. He said that, look, by virtue of the fact that I'm an Athenian citizen, I am obligated to accept the judgment of my peers. I'm obligated to accept my death sentence despite the fact that it's unjust, despite the fact that they were wrong. So he refused to take out this opportunity to escape, and he decided that he would die. He would drink the hemlock and serve out his sentence. Now, this provides an occasion or an opportunity for Socrates, or Plato through Socrates, to discuss the immortality of the soul. And he offers in this dialogue three different arguments that the soul, in fact, is immortal, and so that Socrates' impending death won't be the end of him. The arguments themselves haven't been found particularly persuasive or compelling to many people. Many of the arguments rely upon some idiosyncratic and sort of odd features of Plato's philosophy that many have found controversial and not everyone has wanted to accept. What I'm more interested in here, though, is the sort of incidental remarks that Socrates makes along the way as he gives these arguments, because I think that they give us a nice picture of the sort of Platonic orientation towards life. So what does Socrates say about death? Well, not only is Socrates not afraid of death, he actually says he welcomes death. In a way, he's looking forward to dying. Why would he say something like that? Well, because according to Socrates, the entire life of the philosopher is nothing more than a preparation for death. What is death but the separation of the soul from the body? And what is philosophy but an extended attempt to separate the soul or the mind more and more from bodily influences so that we can attain true knowledge? So here's how he's thinking. Remember, it's through the senses, through our experience of the physical world, that we're led to half-truths and opinions, vague ideas about what the world is like. But it's through the mind, it's through the use of reason, that we hit upon the eternal, the certain, that which is absolutely and unchangingly true. Moreover, the body distracts us from this pursuit of wisdom and of contemplation. You get tired, you get hungry, you experience lower appetitive drives or passions or desires that distract you from your true purpose, which is the pursuit of wisdom and the cultivation of virtue. So what that means is that the philosopher, in a way, despises his or her own body. The philosopher loves wisdom, which is achieved through the soul, through the mind, and despises the body, which does nothing but distract us from such truths. All right, so what you have in this dialogue is, I think, it's fair to call it a kind of negative estimation of physical or bodily life. What you have in this dialogue is the idea that the life in the body is something like a being imprisoned, right? So that the soul lies in the prison house of the body and should look forward to being released. So again, what you see from the Phaedo is that you've got a soul that is eternal, that is immortal, that your highest good comes from those things that are related to the soul, those things which are eternal and can be known only through the use of reason. And the body is estimated to be somewhat subpar, a kind of hindrance to enlightenment and to happiness.